Hi everybody, my name is Sharon. I work for People's Bank. I've been with them for about 10 years, and they were the ones that gave me the opportunity to get to know Sojourner Truth House, a place I've come to know and love. I've been volunteering for quite a few years now, and a couple of years ago I had the honor of becoming a member of the board. So that's where I'm from. I want to thank you, Sister Peg, and Sojourner Truth House for giving people this platform. I think this is wonderful. I think it's one of the things that we're lacking is listening to other people and really hearing their stories one-on-one versus all the mass things that are going on in the media. I did listen to all of the other people speak.
Wow.
Tanya, Diane and her son, Twyla, Cassandra, Elena, Antoine. I just thought that they spoke with such dignity and grace and humility from the heart. And I wanted to thank them for coming out and giving us the opportunity to listen to them. Discrimination, systemic racism, cultural racism have existed since the beginning of societies, and unfortunately it was brought into this country as well. I think we had an opportunity and we missed it to change that in the world, but we didn't. So just wanted to talk a little bit about my experiences that I've had. I grew up on the southeast side of Chicago, born and raised. Lived right across the street from a huge Chicago Park District park. You're talking about a park that's 2 city blocks long and 3 city blocks wide. We thought that we lived in a melting pot. And what we thought at that time was a melting pot were people from different cultures: Polish, Italian, Irish, Mexican, Puerto Rican. But there were no black people there. And when I was a teenager, black people started to move in, and riots started. So we had all these other cultures that were this melting pot, and for some reason, when the black people moved in, there were riots started. That was my first real look at how deep racism ran. I just didn't have those experiences before that time. I lived, like I said, right across the street from the park, and there were riots every night practically on our doorstep. I mean, people were getting killed, people were getting injured. The violence was just unbelievable.
Could I ask, do you know who started the riots, or?
I don't. It was mutual. I don't know who planned all this or formed, but people came from all sides and were there. They had to come together to cause these riots, so it took everybody. How it was originated or developed, I can't say. But it was bad. So I come from a family of 9, and so being that was right in our doorstep, my family decided they had to move us out of that neighborhood for our safety, just mainly because we were right there, right in the thick of it. And I saw even more racism. People were now mad at us, mad at our family, because we sold our house to a black family. Just really couldn't understand it. People were not happy with us for doing that. I was devastated. I thought we lived in a wonderful place, and my whole life had to change because of something that I really couldn't comprehend at that time. So it was my first big experience. A few years later, my husband joined the Army, and we were stationed in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. And I loved it there. Anytime you're in the military, you're thrown into a very diverse environment automatically, and you need to learn how to live with people. And we did, and it felt good because everybody was there for a common purpose. We were all there to defend our country. But even there, even with everybody working together and being on the same team and doing all these things together, there were still signs of racism. We met our friends, and we were talking over 30 years ago, who became our family and still are our family today, and they are a biracial couple. She is white and he is black. And even in that environment that I thought was so diverse, people didn't like that. There were people that didn't like that. They would look at us, they would look at them, they would make comments, they'd look down on us for us, those being our friends. Again, just something really hard to understand, especially in that environment.
Yep.
We were transferred to Germany, and I had a tiny little taste of what people must feel like, what our black people must feel like, because the Germans weren't happy that we were there. Now the Germans are white, we're white, didn't matter. They didn't like us there, took advantage of us, weren't kind to us. So just a tiny little bit of what black people must feel like. I had a taste of that, so that was kind of interesting to me too. After my husband got out of the service, I joined. I joined the reserves. And I was in the reserves for 8 years. And again,
wow.
I loved it. I loved being in the diverse group of people. Again, you're there for the same reason. You're all there to work and defend our country. I continue to see the racism, not as blatantly, but still, it just struck me so odd. I became friends with a group of black people. I became friends with everybody. I'm
You're just a friendly person.
But I would see, you know, there's not a whole lot of informal time when you're in the military. You're usually doing something formal. But when there were informal times, all these people that I see on a daily basis work together and laugh together and play together and stand for a common cause, you would see white people in this group and Hispanic people in this group and black people in this group. And it just always struck me as so strange. And so no matter where you go or what your environment you're in, there's always an underlying sense of that racism, that uncomfortableness. I don't know what it is. Even after I got out, I missed my friends, and I invited them over to my home in Northwest Indiana. And even among my own family and friends, there was a discomfort. Nobody was blatantly ignorant or rude or whatever, but there was a discomfort on both sides, and just something I've struggled with for a long time, not being able to understand that. You know, even in my own family and friends and the people that I've worked with, I've seen a lot of people that you wouldn't expect, but they're upset because there's a biracial marriage. They're upset because there's biracial children or adopted children from another race. Those are the types of things that I've witnessed on a daily basis, and things that I've gone through in my life. Nothing to compare to what some people have gone through. I think we've all seen or had experiences with racism. If you haven't, you've pretty much been living under a rock, or you just refuse to see it or acknowledge it. It just is what it is. So those are some of my experiences. But what I want to say too is, I think with everything going on, we have an awesome opportunity here. We have an opportunity to fix what's going on once and for all, to try to erase those stigmas. I've learned a lot. I've learned that regardless of how I feel or how I've treated people in my life, I've learned that the real meaning of white privilege, just by the sheer color of our skin, we have advantages, and it's just not right. It's just not fair, and we need to eradicate that. What I want to ask people that are watching: just put yourself in the shoes of a black person for one day, living in our country. Can you imagine waking up every day and going out into the world? Knowing that people look at you differently with suspicion, they're judging you, they have preconceived notions of you, they have no idea about your character, your education, your knowledge, your experiences, nothing. All they're seeing is the color of your skin. I cannot imagine what that must be like, and all I know is it's wrong. I don't know how you can think any other way. So I'm excited about the opportunity. I'd like to be a part of the solution. Even in little ways. I read something the other day that said something about if you think just because you're small it doesn't matter, try going to bed with a mosquito. So
That's good.
So, you know, hoping to be a part of that. One of the things is my employer, People's Bank. From day one, they have always made it very clear that they don't there's no tolerance for racism. They make sure they give everybody the same opportunities. They have come up with a new diversity and inclusion task force that they've created since this all started, in an effort to hear what people have to say, to give people an opportunity to talk, just like what we're doing here. So I think communication is key. So that's something that I wouldn't work for a company if they did any other way. I don't like to get political about things, but I did read a quote from John F. Kennedy that I'd like to share. It says, "Let us not seek the Republican answer or the Democratic answer, but the right answer. Let us not seek to fix the blame for the past. Let us accept our own responsibility for the future." And that just struck home with me. We can't erase the past, and we shouldn't, because we need to learn from it. We need to know how to be better as a society, how to be better as people. So one of the other things that I want to pledge to do is take personal responsibility for myself. And if we all did that, the world would be a much better place. If you see something in your place of work, in your place of worship, in your families, when you're out with your friends, when you're out in public, if you see something, say something. Don't allow it. Don't tolerate it. If you hear somebody saying something or doing something racially discriminatory, speak up. Don't just sit quietly by the sidelines. And I think that's a part of what we have to have learned here, is that we all have to get involved, and we all have to be working towards that common goal. Think for yourself. Educate yourself. Educate your children. Educate your grandchildren. Talk about these things. Just do the right thing, and those are things I commit to. And I just ask you on a more human level, everybody, when you're dealing with somebody, look in their eyes. Look, they say the eyes are a reflection of the soul, and we're all humans. We're all the human race. We all have souls. We're all from the same Creator. Look into people's eyes when you talk to them. Don't look at the color of their skin or any other characteristics that they have. If we can just all do that, I think the world would be a better place. So thanks for letting me share my experiences and my thoughts on where this is going. I saw one more really cool quote, which is why I try to keep positive about this. This is from the Dalai Lama, who I love. It says, "It is under the greatest adversity that there exists the greatest potential for doing good."
Yep.
And we have the opportunity here to do good. And I would be proud to be a part of this era that everybody is so freaking out about. If I could be part of this era that makes a change for that better. That's it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.